I tell you what, it's been a fantastic year for sports in Pensacola. Pensacola sports itself has done really well. SEC women's tournament was fantastic with soccer. The Sun Belt tournament did really well, both men and women's basketball, all the high school all-star games, the runs, and we've got renewals, both with the Sun Belt and SEC. So, Ray, I think you're going to be able to rest just for a couple days. You've had a pretty good year.
Absolutely, Rick. We have been so blessed to have a wonderful year. I want to thank all the people that have helped us along the way. You included, our partners at the Escambia County Parks and Recs, the Bay Center staff, my staff, and just so the community for coming out and showing up for these events. And it's been a great year, and we look forward to a great 2025.
Now, we just got finished with the NAI tournament. Golly, I mean, just so many teams were here in town. Just keeping up with that had to be a huge logistic thing. But overall, how did the tournament go?
The tournament went well. We had 16 schools in town from around the country, which was really fascinating. You know, while we had huge crowds for this SEC soccer, we didn't expect and didn't get the large crowds for the NAIA, but the quality of soccer is phenomenal. One of the things we're learning about having these multi-year contracts, and one of the reasons why we're so excited about the SEC and the Sun Belt Conference, both contract extensions, is we're learning that the development of the fan base from a local impact standpoint takes a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
Both the SEC and the Sun Belt Conference are fully aware that when you go to these neutral sites, there's an education period for our locals to learn about these events and find them and build them into their schedule. And so we understand that better every day, every year, that's how that works. That's why we're so excited about such a long-term contract with the Sun Belt Conference. We have seen those numbers grow every year, and we anticipate that to continue.
Well, and y'all have got a special holiday package for the tournament now, $99 for the entire tournament, March 4th through the 10th.
We do, and we're proud to partner again with our partners at Visit, Pensacola, and Sun Belt Conference, and the Bay Center, and all of Escambia County. And it's just exciting stuff to have these, what I consider highly quality of life improvement opportunities for our community and for our citizens, and not just for Escambia County, but for the whole region.
Well, and you and I've talked about it before. We've had kids that played sports, and just knowing to have these caliber athletes come here, whether it's soccer or basketball or baseball, they get a chance to see that level of ball being played, and the teams get involved with the fans too. So it becomes a great inspiration for young athletes.
It absolutely does. We actually, to the NAIA, one of the things they do, they have a character building program that they do at all their championships. And we were able to combine them and partner them up with the Communities Caring with Christmas initiative of its 45th year or whatever it is over there. And, we had about 100 of their players come in and spend several hours stuffing underwear for our people in our community that, are not as fortunate as some of us are. And it was a very moving experience. And it's good for everybody involved. The kids were moved by some presentations that were made by some of the most powerful leaders in our community who came in and told them about our community and thanked them for their service and the importance, and told them a little bit about some of the, not just young people, but, the lesser fortunate in our community that they were able to help. It was a very moving experience.
So you've done two major college soccer tournaments out at Brosnahan. What were some of your takeaways? What can we do to get better at handling these tournaments?
Well, we had an SEC a little over hour-long wrap-up SEC meeting this morning. And while ticket sales continue to expand, unfortunately, the one thing that probably controls as much as anything is who's playing.
Right.
So we need Ole Miss, to win. We need Florida. We need Florida to get back to that high level of soccer things. But I think it's just a continuation of, good things happen best by word of mouth. More than most anything we can do is tell your friends what a great time you had. The number of young girls that were at the women's soccer events was so inspirational to me. Girls everywhere. Girls from 5 and 6-year-old to 16, 17, 18-year-old out there watching and learning. I think it's just an ongoing project of making sure that we don't sit on our laurels, that we press and keep telling the community about what's happening.
Now, what's the latest on the indoor sports facility? It seemed we got involved. The election came up and all the conversation sort of stopped. Are we hearing anything on the indoor sports? I know Visit Pensacola wanted to do something with a conference center, but I haven't seen any other plans come forward. What are you seeing behind the scenes?
Well, I think behind the scenes, what I'm seeing or hearing is that I think there's going to be some going back to a drawing board on location. But one of the most important components for me and the encouragements that I have is that I think we saw from the tourist development community was general support for an indoor venue and the need for it. We've proven over 15 years of study and talks and consultants that it is something our community needs. I think the initiative is pivoting to maybe relook at location and maybe kind of what it looks like. The bottom line in my world, and you know me, pretty much like a Rick Allison, I think we've got to find some other money. We have needs that are beyond what one bucket of money can do. And I think we have a community need for an indoor venue. And as long as we only are using the tourism bucket of money, we're never going to be able to fill the need of our community needs, because we're still going to have teams that are having to travel to Foley and other places to practice and hold their tournaments if we don't have an indoor venue. But we also have, just for practices, as well as hosting their own tournaments, if we don't have our own venue. And so if that venue needs to be in the 8 basketball court, 16 volleyball court size capacity. And so we're going to have to look at filling that local community need and being okay with it being used for our locals on some Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If we build a conference center that has conference/conventions in it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then it's a sports tourism or another tourism on Friday, Saturday, Sunday component, and you take it up with strictly tourism, that doesn't solve your local athletic component needs for your volleyball, basketball, mat sports, other opportunities. So we've got more than one venue need, and the sports budget, sports tourism or the TDT isn't a big enough bucket. So we've got to figure out whether there's grant monies out there or there's tourism development initiatives. There are some these tourism districts, special taxing districts that are popping up all over the country. It's one of the most popular ways to fund these types of things because they pull out of the control of the political world, and it can be very specific uses or general funds or LOS or something else. Other buckets of money are going to have to be involved to get us to the numbers we need to get the full impact of what it is our community needs.
Right before you go, we've got the Double Bridge Run coming in the next year. Are there still some openings there?
Yeah, the numbers are great. And we also have a reindeer package special available for that, where you can get that in the Bayou Hills Run for a special deal for a great stocking stuffer. But the Double Bridge Run is looking fantastic. The medals are so cool. I'm so excited.
Oh, great. Well, Ray, have a great holiday. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Rick. I'm excited. I love the new format.
We want to thank our sponsor, 360 Marketing. 360 Marketing is Pensacola's full-service creative branding and marketing design boutique. They've been active in Pensacola for over 17 years. 360 Marketing knows that when businesses are succeeding, the entire community is thriving. To help businesses grow, the 360 team develops innovative solutions tailored to each client's specific needs. Every business is unique, and so are the steps they take to tell a brand story. No matter whether you need a logo, a whole brand concept, or a strategic campaign, they can help you out. And now's the time to order branded monograph throws. Put 360 Marketing in the Google machine to learn more. It's 360printing.com.
But I'm definitely committed to doing that.
Okay. Talked to Clark last week, Merritt, on the port. We know we got, we'll start seeing the parts and pieces of American Magic get here in February. We've got Foiling Week at the end of February. The other thing you mentioned were that we've got a couple regattas coming up. Tell us a little, what do you know about that?
Yeah, so we've got, I say all the time, I think what catches the attention in the headlines, understandably, of course, is American Magic, one of the most advanced sailing teams in the world. What I think, when we look back in 5 years and say, man, that was a great investment and a great return for the city, it's not going to just be in how they do in the America's Cup. It's going to be really becoming, like I talk about, the sailing capital of the United States of America. What does that mean? Not just that we got one cool boat here. It's that in 150 great jobs, what it is these other events that are coming in March and April, the GL52s. I would argue you'd have to ask Tom Pace or somebody if they disagree, but probably the most advanced boat that will have sailed here in any regatta ever. And so these are 52-foot boats, and just for context, the Patriot 70 feet that ran in the America's Cup. So these are big, expensive, high-tech boats that are going to be out sailing. So they're doing one regatta in March 19th, I believe, is the first day, and then they're doing another in April. And what does that mean? I think it's 6 to 8 boats on both counts.
A bunch of millionaires will be in town.
That's correct.
Billionaires.
I think a couple with a D.
Yeah, right.
But what does that mean? Just the crew and the direct folks involved in having 7 or 8 boats here is somewhere in the range of 150 to 200 people. So that's not fans. That's not people that are sailing enthusiasts that come drive down from Atlanta or whatever. Counting none of that, we just have 200 people that drive boats or involved in the operation. And
I think you call them selling boats.
Yeah, exactly. And so so we've already had some preliminary conversations with trying to get everything kind of staged at Plaza de Luna. So you'd be able to kind of make that a fan interaction type thing where they'd have their trailers and like kind of their ground game happening all in that Plaza de Luna area. And then it would be accessible for people and then be able to race that course as close to the end of, and make that kind of the amphitheater for that race. And so they're very excited about it. They just came back here in person to look at everything. But man, when you think about, in my mind, when you think about the true economic development of American Magic, I think we're going to see a lot of it when we start to see these happening multiple times a year.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mayor, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for stopping by.
Glad to do it.
Yep. How long ago?